Hello everybody, welcome to another night of Shine Like a North Star. Hope everybody's doing well. It feels like just another crazy week. I often say that on our YouTubes that, wow, it's another crazy week. I hope everyone's safe and sound and keeping their sanity. And here it is, another Tuesday night with Shine Like a North Star, and I find myself saying the same thing again. So welcome. I'd love to know if you're with me live, hashtag live if you are, and if you're on replay, let me know that you're watching it on replay. It's just fun to see how people are engaging. Tonight's work is really doing some refreshers on change management. So I want to share my screen with you, which is a new functionality for me. Let's look through the bell curve of change. And so we know that people typically fall somewhere in this bell curve of either being resistors, so those people that drag at the very end, people that are mainstream users, and then people at the front of it that are early adopters. So think about something that is happening in your world where there is some change going on. Who do you see as the early adopters, the mainstream users, and the late adopters? We might see that with just, across the states right now, companies that are adopting the mandatory vaccine requirement, right? So Amazon, Google, United, some big companies have done that. So they're the early adopters. I wonder how long it will take for the mainstream users to kind of go, yeah, I'm going to mandate that in my company too. And then those companies that will be at the end of, I'm dragging my feet, it has to be mandatory. So that'll be interesting to see. Think about change, right? Maybe people are wanting to join an exercise class and you have early adopters that get there, 15 minutes early. Mainstream users arrive just in time and the late adopters are chronically late to their exercise class, right? Like you'll see this shift no matter what the evidence is. So let me help with some additional strategies here of what this looks like. So when we think of these 4 stages, denial, resistance, exploration, and acceptance, you can start thinking through people's space in the change by the behaviors that they exhibit. So denial is the late adopters, right? People that are like, I'm never going to work for a company that mandates the vaccine. Well, you're going to see them withdrawing any sort of vaccination discussion, apathy, they're going to be disenfranchised with companies that obviously mandate that, disbelief, they'll take I'm just going to move forward and sort of pretend like it's not ever going to happen to this company. You take the extreme opposite of that, right? So companies and leadership that makes a stance, like the federal government recently said, they're obviously on the forefront of accepting the vaccination because they mandated all federal employees to get the mandatory vaccine. So that, you're seeing their commitment to the vaccine. You're seeing their relief that, oh, this is going to make such a difference. I'm so glad we made this decision. Excitement, ownership, integration. They're going to put in a bunch of processes in place for those federal employees, such a big population group, to be able to look at that. So as you're working with your employees and thinking through where they're at and whatever the change is, these 2 tables and graphs might be really valuable for you to help think through where they're at. So we want to be able to identify where people are at on the curve so we can meet them there and help move them along, right? Sometimes the early adopters, whoa, Nelly, like slow down, wait for everybody else to catch up. I kind of say sometimes that's like a boat going ahead of me and I'm just in the wake, right? I want to be on the boat, like go a little slower so I can catch up to you. So you want to recognize where people are at. So even the early adopters can be problematic. The mainstream, there might be people in there that we can move to early adopters because we might need more people to be in that forerunning group. Right? Likewise, the late adopters, how do we move them along so that our bell curve isn't like kilometers and miles long, right? To keep it tight and keep stuff in momentum. So this is some of the work that I help with in organizations and certainly in people's lives as they think through how they want to grow and develop as leaders, teasing apart some of that complexity. I'm working with an organization right now doing some very serious decision making And it's just exciting to see us work through the communication to try to identify all of those groups. You know, what's the tone of our communication, all of that kind of stuff. So happy to be a sounding board if anybody needs that. And this is my nugget for tonight's Shine Like a North Star. Be safe, everybody, and know that we're with you. I'd love you to make a comment about what a takeaway was from today and how you might just think about change differently with these high-level things. Okay? Text in something to me. Bye.